Well, welcome everybody. My day job here at Clifford Chance is I'm the head of commercial litigation, but much more relevantly for today, I used to be in charge of recruitment. And therefore, based on first-hand experience, I can say that Birkbeck and Clifford Chance have a great deal in common. Not surprising that we've had two governors, relationships in relation to Stratford, and I'm sure a number of my partners have benefited from the fantastic courses. And what we have in common is that Clifford Chance recruits from an extraordinarily diverse set of backgrounds, particularly education. And we recognise that life consists of people who are sometimes slow starters, those who have been let down during their lives by the educational system, and those who are late awakeners. And there must be room for all of them, and nobody must be doomed for life by earlier disadvantage. And Birkbeck, in that context, provides an absolutely unique bridge to make sure that education fills the gaps of the past. And in that context, I'm going to shut up because I hand over to the most important person, David Latchman, who I know firsthand is passionate about ensuring that those who've not had the benefits of higher education in the past are darn well going to get it now.
Well, thank you, Simon, and thank you to you for your hospitality and for continuing the tradition of the association between Birkbeck and Clifford Chance. You did make one mistake, though, which is you said that I was the most important person. The most important people are the students, and the students who Birkbeck exists to serve and to help and to move forward in their careers or in their interests. We are 192 years old, and we are moving towards our 200th anniversary, which is a tremendous achievement for any organisation, but actually far more important is that we are approaching our 200th anniversary doing something that our founder George Birkbeck, whose picture is round the corner there, would recognise. He might not understand about the difference between 4-year undergraduate degrees and 3-year undergraduate degrees in the evening, but he would understand about providing opportunity for working people to continue to develop their careers, to study subjects that have always interested them and so on. And when we say working people, that does not mean purely UK national working people. It means, of course, those from around the world and Europeans as well. Birkbeck, despite the traumas or the triumph, depending on how you regard it, of the referendum, is open for business for European students. And indeed, there is a message that I want to get over to you. The government very kindly made an announcement which said that loans for EU students for their fees will continue if you start in 2016-17 for undergraduate students or postgraduate students. For the duration of their course, they will be treated the same way as home students. So there is a message out there for EU students, particularly those who come to Birkbeck who very often live already in London and are making a decision, do I want to come and study? The answer is, come now, because it will only get worse. It might stay the same for a bit, but it will certainly not get better. So if you are a European student, come now. And if you know European students, people from European backgrounds living in London, give them that message. And we have sent that message out, and we have seen actually a 60% rise in applications in the last 2 weeks compared to the equivalent point last year. So we need to get that message out. What catastrophes await us afterwards in terms of European students? As always in Birkbeck, when you've lived, as I have and many Birkbeck staff have, through a government decision that we were informed of with 30 minutes notice, with a telephone call from the minister that they were going to stop funding so-called ELQ students, who are people who already have a degree, to do another degree, which they almost always do part-time. That one decision cost us 40% of our teaching funding. So we feel that we've been through the fire. We may go through the fire again, but it will never be as bad as that. What that means, of course, is that the nearly 200 years of history means that we have an obligation to provide the very best support for our students in all ways, in terms of facilities, to provide teaching facilities that we can use for their benefit, to provide research facilities so that we attract the very best researchers who then go on and provide the very best teaching to those students, to provide financial aid to students who need it. You will hear in a moment from someone who is supported by a bursary and also from a donor. But equally, of course, it doesn't only have to be about supporting with money. It can be supporting with your expertise. We will hear from somebody who's acted as a mentor to students. Very often, Birkbeck students, when they graduate, find themselves at a bit of a loss. They're not quite sure what to do in the evening. They have to go home to their families rather than go to study at Birkbeck. Well, you can always do another degree, but of course, what you can also do is act as a mentor to a student and give the benefit of your experience. Say, I felt crushed by the first essay deadline, but I got through it. I felt crushed when I got to the exam room and I was preparing, but I got through it. So all those ways are ways in which you can help the college, and we thank you very much, those who are already supporting us financially, those who are supporting us in other ways, and to everybody who's here, who's testified by coming here to your support for our unique institution. And I think it really is unique, and the keystone of our 200th anniversary campaign will be about its uniqueness, because I apologise to those of you who are graduates of other universities, but if any other university in the country disappeared tomorrow, it would be unfortunate, it would be difficult, but in the end, those students and those staff would be redistributed amongst other universities. When we stand in the lobby at 5 to 6 on a winter's evening and see people coming in wet from the rain, tired from work, clutching their coffee cups, we know that they have nowhere else to go. They've had nowhere else to go, not just because they don't want to go home, nowhere else to go to receive a first-rate research-based education that you can combine with your work and with your other commitments. And that is what we are about. And it's a great pleasure to be here tonight and to welcome you. And now to hand over to Imogen, who is going to tell you about her experience of being a Birkbeck student and being supported by generous financial support from actually donors who are here this evening, but we're not going to embarrass them by identifying them. So Imogen, over to you.